I have something to tell you, and it's one of those, like, this is heart-wrenching to talk about. I was just at the gas station filling up my truck, which I do a couple of times a month, and another truck pulled up on the other side of the pump. No big deal. I'm almost pumping my gas, and I can hear yelling within the truck. So I don't know if they're just talking loud because they're on the phone. I can only hear one voice though. I can hear them yelling, a gentleman's voice yelling, and he seems really upset. He seems really aggravated, and so says something about throwing up your hands or something like that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he gets out of the car, and then I can hear a lady's voice in there, and she's like trying to calm him down and trying to like get him to calm down so he's not so upset. The problem with this scenario is he's already upset. He's already aggravated. He is already onto the explosive side of life at this point. Now, I will tell you that I could feel his energy, and his energy was horrible. He grew up in a very violent home where people yelled and screamed all the time and beat each other up and all kinds of stuff. So he probably grew up in a family where his dad or stepdad or whatever beat up his mom, and I could just feel that energy in him, and almost like, I have a right to do this. I have a right to be honored in this way. And I think that's one of the things, I guess, is like the number one thing is when people say that you need to honor me or you need to respect me, but they're not giving you honor or respect. It's one of those, they're asking for something that they're not willing to give themselves. That's kind of the hard part. If they're not willing to respect you, then how can you respect them? And this goes back for generations, and a lot of people in a lot of different situations will almost like demand respect from other people. They'll demand respect from like their kids, their spouse, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, friends, anybody, relatives, but very rarely do they actually ever give honor and respect to the person they're demanding that from. Think about it. When you start thinking about these situations, usually they're honoring, demanding, like, you respect me, you tell me first, or you whatever it is, like whatever the story is or the scenario is at that time, they are literally completely in the realm of it needs to be done my way or the highway, and it's all about honor and respect, but they're not giving or gifting that to somebody else. They're not at all. The way they're talking to each other, the way that they're yelling at each other, the way they're dealing with each other is not honorable and respectful. Now, I will tell you like a bazillion% kudos for this woman, because he is yelling at her and she's staying calm, cool, and collected. So in a lot of ways, she really was respecting him. She was not getting aggravated. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't getting overly emotional or whatever else, because that's really usually when men get in this state, like that really just like slides them off to the crazy side because they can't deal with emotions, or have never been taught how to deal with emotions. I guess that's a whole new video. But I will tell you, really the important part is when someone is demanding that from you, ask them, not yelling at them, are you respecting or honoring me in what you're doing or what you're saying or how you're talking to me? Because so many times it gets to that stage where it's really not. They're not honoring or respecting them. So it's like, why or how can you honor or demand that from somebody else? It's kind of one of those like dual-edged swords. It's kind of like you're demanding it, but you're not giving it. And so that's a very important like part of the puzzle, because that has to be in balance with everything else that's going on in your life. That has to be directly in balance with the relationship, how y'all talk to each other, how you don't talk to each other. All of those things are so important. And if you're talking to each other with honor and respect and guidance and that sort of thing, like, it's all going to go well. It is like, yes, we've got this. We finally got this. This is going good in the right direction. But if it's not, then that's up to you to make sure that you get into a safe location, to make sure that you get out of that situation for a period of time so everybody can cool off and cool down and move into a healthier scenario. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.